Dr. Paul, because you have committed, it appears, that by July, August of 2021, you expect 30 crore Indians to be vaccinated with the corona vaccine. Are you putting the cart before the horse when approvals still haven't come in place? Can we make those kind of projections and those timelines? On what basis are you saying that you hope that 30 crore Indians will be vaccinated by August 2021, sir?
Rajdeep, in the context of pandemic, when a powerful tool that can protect lives and even contain and extinguish the pandemic appears on the scene in the form of vaccination, we need to be prepared in advance. We need to have our thinking right, our tools right, our system right, and a clear vision. Even though we know that this disease is novel, the vaccines are appearing in a certain sequence, some of them are unfamiliar because of their new platforms and so on. But to be prepared for this potential tool and intervention is the duty of the government. And that's what exactly we have done. What we have conveyed yesterday in our press conference is clearly, our approach to immunize priority groups when the stockpile of vaccine available is somewhat less than the entire population that may potentially be considered as a candidate for vaccination. How do you go about doing it? Now that needs clarity, and that clarity has been provided. In this, we have stated that certain groups, as you enunciated just now in your report, will be in the first wave of vaccination. It doesn't have to be an exact sequence the way you put it, but that's our vision. So we are starting with an aspirational vision that we have these high-risk groups. We would like to cover them as a first wave. Now the point is how soon we want to achieve. Well, that is based on our overall thinking about how potentially affordable vaccines would be available to the nation. And when we put the two together, that we can say in the optimistic scenario, it is possible for us to translate that vision into action on the ground. This is the way it is moving, but we are also mindful of the fact that it is a dynamic situation, and we have to be careful as we move along, and we modify our approach and adapt as required.
What you're saying is effectively suggesting that you have a vision plan in place. The question is the reality on the ground. As today's subject expert committee seemed to suggest, we still don't have final data of the Serum Institute phase 3 clinical trials. We still don't have Bharat Biotech with its phase 3 trials, yet both of them have applied for emergency approvals. Pfizer, there are question marks. So, you know, the fact is, are we fast forwarding a process and as I said earlier, jumping ahead of where we should be? Should we be taking this a little bit more cautiously, waiting for the entire approvals to come in place? Or do you believe both processes take place simultaneously, the approvals and your plan for the vaccinations?
So 3 points in this regard, Rajdeep. First and foremost, there shall not be any compromise on the science and regulatory processes. There shall not be. And we have factored that in, that there will be candidate vaccines. They'll go a certain route. There may be requirements of completion of data and so on. This is in a way factored in our overall approach. And we know that those pathways and milestones have to be met. So first and foremost, there will be no compromise of science and evidence. And we are connected to the world and the science in this regard because we have a reputation to keep. The second part is that as the vaccine evaluations are done, the process that you are referring to today is part and parcel of that approach. More data should be made available. The data would be looked at. The paradigm for emergency authorization is in a way reasonably well understood as to the point where such a decision could be made. Those lines have been drawn, and therefore you should see this as an evolving process. But I once again say that these scenarios have been kept in mind. But it is our duty that we are prepared on time for the vaccine rollout as soon as it is available for the people of India. If we would not do it, you only will then tell us we were not ready. So both the things are happening together. There is no question of jumping the steps or avoiding certain norms and regulations and critical elements in this whole story.